had some problems in our job and we had to leave that job, how will we present this before the new people in the interview board? So we said that we should say nothing negative about our previous employment or employers. And we should just say that we had a very good experience and we hope to have a better experience here also. So the reason may be having some problems in that job, but we should try to put it in the most positive way as possible. So we have to express our gratitude to the people who helped us learn many things. Even when we are having some negative experiences somewhere, we should actually take it as a lesson to progress further in life, wherever, not only in a job. Whenever we have some negative experiences somewhere, the right attitude would be to take it as a lesson and go ahead in life. So that actually will help us to avoid negative impressions in our own mind also. So when we had some difficult experiences, offense, take it as a lesson to carry ourselves if such situations come in the future. That is a kind of way in which we should approach all such negative situations in life. So when we answer this question in this manner, the interview panel will understand that this candidate has some maturity which will help the company. So whether we are mature or not will be revealed in the way we answer this question. So if we criticize anyone, however bad they may be, criticism indicates a lack of maturity. Blaming indicates a lack of maturity. We will not like it if somebody blames us, isn't it? So instead of blaming, we should try to see the positive aspects of things. So that is how we can respond to this question. Let's look at the next question. So this is a possible question that you can be asked. What is your achievement? What have you achieved? Suddenly we realize that we have not achieved anything. Especially when you are not employed before, when you are a fresher, we feel that we have not achieved anything. But actually we have achieved a lot of things in our life. If you look at people around us, when we compare, you usually compare with people who are higher than us. Oh, I haven't achieved that much. But it is said that we should look at people who are below us, who could not achieve so much as us. So if we go on listing our achievements, there are many achievements we have in our life. When we talk about professional achievement, especially when we are in a job interview, we should focus on everything professional. All programs, all diploma or degree programs will have some projects that they undertake, especially in the final year. We will be engaged with some organization in our neighborhood or in our city where we learn a lot of practical things. So the lessons that we learn there can be listed as achievement when we go for an interview. Why am I telling this is because as freshers, we may not have any professional achievement. So the experience that we have when we do a project can be mentioned here when they are not asking about academics. They are also not asking about extracurricular activities. Adu alla. It is not extracurricular. It is not academic also, not of studies also, but related to the work that you do. And if we are freshers, the only achievement that we can possibly talk about is the learning that we had when we worked in a project. So we have to keep a note of the different things that we learn in the project. We have to be deeply involved in the project so that we can mention those learnings that we had in that project as a professional achievement, as an answer to this question. So there is also a description on how we can answer this. So as I said, we may feel that we have not achieved anything, but everybody has some kind of an achievement or other. We have to think of what we learned in the little experiences which will actually qualify for being a professional achievement. So achievement is not just about prizes, getting some prizes somewhere is not just the idea of achievement. Achievement is also some well to do. If you can do some task well, that is a professional achievement. If you can prepare an account ledger properly in the prescribed manner, that is itself a professional achievement. So professional achievement is not some award that you get from some organization. It is something that we do well properly. So this is a way in which we can answer this question. Okay, next question can be a bit tricky. Tell me about a challenge or conflict you have faced at work and how you dealt with it. So challenge means some difficult situation. Suppose you had some difficult situation in your workplace or in the project that you undertake during your diploma program. How did you handle that? That is what they are asking. If whether you had a problem. Here, the question is not actually to get an answer or whether you had a problem or not. Everybody will have encountered some problem. Their question may be worded differently also. Maybe they will sometimes ask you, how do you handle when you have a problem? How do you respond when you have a problem? So we can narrate some situation where we encounter some difficulty. For example, when you don't know how to prepare a new kind of a journal, for instance. A new situation comes, you want to know how to enter it in a journal. So we may have to ask our superiors, our boss, and then they will guide us. So that is a difficult situation. It is not just with the people. Sometimes we may have problems in the work that we do itself. Sometimes we may have a problem with people interacting with the team members. So how do we resolve problems when we have with people? If we have a problem with people, how can we resolve it? Suppose I have a problem with one of you. How will I solve that problem? Exactly, we should have a discussion with the person who has problem with us. So it is by conversation that most problems can be resolved. Yes, tell them about the problem. Most of the time, problems with people are created because of misunderstandings. That is wrong understanding. We have always said that understanding is the main thing. So if a person has understanding, there is not likely to be any problem with anybody. The thing is that understanding is not something easily achieved, and understanding is not usually permanent also. Understanding, എനിക്ക് understanding ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് പെർമനന്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഉണ്ടായിക്കൊള്ളണമെന്നില്ല. Unless you have reached a certain level, may not be permanent also. So developing understanding is very important, but sometimes it can happen that this understanding takes a back seat. And when the understanding fails, misunderstanding comes in. So I think that Joffrey is not behaving properly with me, or Srilekshmi is not behaving properly with me. I have to teach them a lesson. I have to punish them. So what will I do? I will make a complaint to the HOD. I will tell the principal that they need to be punished, and also I am going to have a kind of war with these people. So what will happen if there is a war? War will not solve any. There has never been a good war nor a bad peace. It's a saying in English. So when I start fighting, it is not going to solve the issue. Issue is only going to be greater. Then these people will start fighting with me. So I will teach him a lesson. Who does he think he is? He has to learn. So they will also try to teach me a lesson. So what happens? The problem gets bigger and bigger, and no resolution happens. So if we are focused on resolution, we should go to the problem. What is the problem? The problem is misunderstanding. And let us see what has been understood by them and what is my understanding. Talk it out, discuss it, and then there is no problem actually. And unfortunately, this is something that never happens anywhere. Nations are having problems. Education ഇല്ലാത്ത ആൾക്കാരൊന്നുമല്ല. Highly educated people. You know, all the people who come into the top diplomatic posts, IFS, Indian Foreign Service, the presidents of nations, prime ministers, they are not people who don't have any knowledge. They are all very highly educated, highly experienced people. And why are we having wars between countries? It is basically because of lack of understanding, nothing else. So when misunderstanding develops, problems start. So it is very easy to talk about understanding, but it is very difficult to implement it. So the solution to the problem is always a discussion, especially when it is with people. And when we have a problem in our work, we should actually discuss with people who have experience in that particular area, and then we will be able to solve the issue. So this kind of question is actually a kind of measurement of the candidate's personality. So instead of, we may say that we are very good at doing things, we are punctual, we may list a lot of qualities. But this answer to this question does a better work than the list of the qualities that we may make, because listing everybody can do. But when we narrate an experience, when we solved a problem, that is likely to have a better impression upon the interviewer. So this type of question should be anticipated. We should expect this kind of questions in the interview, because this is very commonly asked. Sometimes it may be slightly different. They may word it differently. They may ask this question in a different manner, but they will surely ask you this question. That is whether you had a problem in your work, how will you handle a problem in your work, etc. So we have to plan and prepare for such a question in our interview. This is a kind of question that reveals a better part of our personality, because this handling problems is a skill that is required in every workplace. Every workplace has problems. There are no workplace without problems. When two people come, there is a problem. ഒരാൾ മാത്രമുള്ളെങ്കിൽ പ്രോബ്ലം ഒന്നുമില്ല. രണ്ടാമതൊരാൾ വരുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ പ്രോബ്ലം തുടങ്ങും. So so is it clear? Because I want to know whether this. Then we'll move on to the last question in the 10 questions. There are many questions, but we are discussing just 10 of them. Okay, so the last question that they are likely to ask is, after asking a lot of questions, they will ask us, do you have any questions for us? Usually candidates will respond, no sir, thank you so much, because we are already been tired responding to a lot of questions, so we somehow want to escape from that place. So this is a usual question that comes at the end of the interview, when we have been sufficiently taxed with a lot of questions. പല ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസും ഫേസ് ചെയ്ത് ആകെ തകർന്നിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്തായിരിക്കും ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നമ്മളോട് ചോദിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം ആലോചിക്കുന്നത് എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ, ഞാനിവിടെ ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കാനല്ലോ വന്നത്, ഇവരെന്തെങ്കിലും ചോദ്യം ചോദിച്ചാൽ മറുപടി പറയാനല്ല ഞാൻ വന്നത്. So what questions do I have? So usually we will think that there is no question, and we will say no and we will leave. Should we ask any question or not? Do you have any questions? Should I ask any question? Yes or no? Do you have any questions for us? Question ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് പറയണോ ഇല്ല എന്ന് പറയണോ? Okay. No. No. Okay. No. ഒരുപാട് പേര് നോ എന്ന് എഴുതിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിന് കാരണം നമ്മൾ അവരുടെ സമയം കളയണ്ട, നമ്മൾ അത് വേണ്ടാന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചിട്ടായിരിക്കാം. നോർമലി നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഈ വീട്ടിലൊക്കെ ചിലപ്പോൾ സന്ദർശിക്കാനൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പോയിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളോട് ചായ വേണോന്ന് ചോദിക്കും, അല്ലേ? ചായ എടുക്കട്ടെ എന്ന് ചോദിക്കും. അതുപോലത്തെ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനാണ് നമുക്ക് പെട്ടെന്ന് കാണുമ്പോൾ തോന്നുന്നതാണ്. ചായ എടുക്കട്ടെ ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് പറയും? 2 എടുത്തോളാൻ പറയോ? ഓക്കെ, അല്ല, ഞാൻ ചായയുടെ കാര്യം ചോദിച്ചത്. വീട്ടിലൊക്കെ സന്ദർശിക്കാൻ പോകുമ്പോഴേ ചായ എടുക്കട്ടെ എന്ന് ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ ചായ മാത്രമാക്കണ്ട, പലഹാരങ്ങളും പോന്നോട്ടെ എന്ന് പറയാമോ? മനസ്സിലുണ്ടാവും. ഓക്കെ. അപ്പൊ നമ്മളപ്പോ അയ്യോ വേണ്ട ഇപ്പൊ കഴിച്ചതേ ഉള്ളൂ എന്ന് പറയും. ഒന്നും കഴിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവില്ല, പട്ടിണിയായിരിക്കും. എന്നാലും നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയും? ഇപ്പൊ കഴിച്ചതേ ഉള്ളൂ എന്ന് പറയും. അവർക്കും അറിയാം ഇവന്മാർക്ക് ആഗ്രഹമുണ്ടെന്ന്. അപ്പൊ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? വേണ്ടാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാലും കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് തരും, നല്ല ആൾക്കാരാണെങ്കിൽ. ഓക്കെ. So here, this is not that kind of a question. When they are asking, do you have any questions for us? They are actually expecting some questions, something from us. Interview, everything is an opportunity. Every question that they ask us is an opportunity. We should not try to avoid any questions. So here, it is an opportunity for us. When they are asking us, we should ask something, but not something that will put them in a big trouble. Some small questions so that they feel that we have not avoided them. Something should be asked, even if we may have nothing to ask, but say ask something so that they are able to appreciate the person that we are as a candidate. That the question should show that we are interested in that company. I will tell you about a different situation also. There are some situations where we have some seminars where some external person will come and give a talk. I'm not talking about the actual regular classes. Regular classes are, I know it is very boring. The same teacher comes and says the same things over and over again. It is all very boring, but we cannot do without it. We cannot avoid this. That is why we are conducting these classes. But suppose for some seminar, external person, somebody comes and takes a session of 2 hours on some topic, water conservation or energy conservation or solar power. Some classes happens and people are all silently listening. And at the end, the resource person, they will ask, does anybody has any questions? Nobody will respond. Will that person be happy? I talk for 2 hours about water conservation or something and nobody will respond. 50 people are sitting there. Do anybody have any questions? Nobody will respond. Maybe my class is very good and everybody appreciates it. But if there is no response from anybody, that person, she or he will feel that these people are not appreciating my class. So that is what that external faculty will feel. So it is better to ask some questions, some simple question. So here also in the interview, even if we don't have anything to ask, it is good to ask some question. Not some any foolish question, but some question that will actually show that you are interested in the company. For example, you can ask them, how many shifts, suppose it is a factory, how many shifts do you have? How many employees do you have? How many branches do you have for this unit? Do you have a manufacturing unit inside the same unit of the corporate structure, etc.? You can ask some questions which show that we have some interest in the company. So that will show that this person, this candidate is really interested in this company. Not ask something which you already, the interviewers have already told us in the interview. അതൊരിക്കലും ചോദിക്കരുത്. ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിൽ ഓൾറെഡി അവർ പറഞ്ഞ കാര്യങ്ങൾ അവരെ കൊണ്ട് റിപ്പീറ്റ് ചെയ്യരുത്. അവരിതുവരെ പറയാത്തതോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഓർഗനൈസേഷണൽ സ്ട്രക്ചറിനെ കുറിച്ചോ, ഓർ അബൌട്ട് ദ വർക്കിംഗ് പ്രോസസ്സോ, or where you are likely to get a posting, etc. Such things can be asked. So to conclude, so this is the last question that we are about to discuss. But when to conclude with whatever we speak, it should indicate a genuine personality. So it should show that we are a genuine person. So genuineness is very important. Being genuine, being true is something very important when we participate in a job interview. That is more appreciated than high ability and all that. Extraordinary abilities and skills in a car. What is focused more in an interview is a personality. So how to develop that is also very important. We have to try to become a better personality, because you cannot feign a good personality. Feigning means acting. So we cannot feign that, we cannot act that as if we are a good personality. It will soon be found out. ഞാൻ വളരെ നല്ല ആളാണ് എന്നൊക്കെ നമ്മൾക്ക് നടിക്കാനൊക്കെ പറ്റുമായിരിക്കും, പക്ഷെ അത് പെട്ടെന്ന് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കും ആളുകൾ. കുറച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലാവും അയാൾ പറയുന്നത് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ, പ്രവൃത്തിയിൽ ആനക്കള്ളനാന്നുള്ളത് മനസ്സിലാവും. So personality is something that we have to develop. It cannot be done 2 days before the interview. That is why this has been introduced to us in the very beginning of the program, diploma program itself, so that these skills, this is not something that you are not just for the exam we are preparing this. It is for life itself, so that we develop these qualities in us. So we have to prepare these questions. At the same time, we have to mold our personality also. So only then the performance in the interview will be effective. So the same answers may be given by different candidates, but the person who is speaking from the heart will be felt by the interviewers. That is something we can be sure about. ഒരേ ആൻസർ തന്നെ പല കാൻഡിഡേറ്റ്സും കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ടാവും, പക്ഷെ യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ ഉള്ളിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്ന ആൻസർ ആണോ എന്നുള്ളത് ഇന്റർവ്യൂവേഴ്സിന് കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലാവും. So how will that come from inside? Only when it has become a part of you. When we have developed that as a quality in us, only then we will be able to speak it from inside. Now let us look at the text, page number 111. You have the textbook with you, please take up that page. Page number 111, 111, activity 7. There are some questions that are asked. These are the questions which we have not discussed. Here are some responses of 3 different candidates to certain questions that were asked during an interview. Tick the response that you find is the most appropriate. So there are 3 responses. Only one response is the best. What is the response that is good among these 3 responses? People want to say that I want to get the maximum salary. So this is what we usually want to ask you. Give us the maximum. If you can give me a huge amount, I will be happy. Will somebody say, no, if I give you 10 rupees more, will you be unhappy? No. Everybody will be happy if they get more. But there is a limit to, which the company has to fix for different posts. So how will I ask? How much salary can I ask? It's a big problem. So there are 3 responses here. Please read those responses. You can take your time, read those responses and tell which is the best among these 3. Is it the first one or the second one or the third one? Which is the good response? Okay, all right. Yes. So it appears to be the better response. That is the third one. It seems that it is the uh, better response. But let us look at the other two responses, why they are not good. So here the first response, the first candidate says, he says that he is a fresher and money is important. And he is asking for a specific amount, 50,000 as a specific amount. What he is saying is true. Money is important. Money was not important, nobody would have gone for a job. Money is definitely important for everybody. If it was not important, we would not have gone for the job. But how will we present it? The way you present it. See, therefore, that is why it is said in English that it is not in what you say, how you say it is important. Not what you say is important, but how you say it is important. So money is important for everybody. It is the same thing that the third candidate also says, but it is put differently, worded differently, said differently. So the first candidate is saying that money is very important. Say, oh, sorry, it was a network problem. So from the response of the first candidate, the interviewer will understand that this person is a money-minded person because he's saying that money is very important to me, and it is a very direct response. And he also asks for a specific amount as a fresher, which is quite a huge amount for a fresher, as a fresh candidate. Is there anything wrong in asking for a specific amount? There is nothing wrong in asking for a specific amount, but we have to do some research about that. ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു പ്രത്യേക എമൗണ്ട് ചോദിക്കുന്നതിലൊന്നും തെറ്റില്ല. ഇപ്പോൾ സാലറി ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ഇത്ര എമൗണ്ട് വേണമെന്ന് ചോദിക്കുന്നത് തെറ്റില്ല. ബട്ട് that should be an amount which is normally paid in a company for a fresher in that category. There's nothing wrong in asking for a specific amount. Actually, it should be what you say at par, means commonly being paid somewhere in other companies like this for the same post for a fresher. If they are paying that much, then you can ask for that money. But if we are asking for an amount which is higher than what is paid by other companies for that post, then it is a problem. So when we ask for a specific amount, we have to do a lot of research on this. We have to inquire with different companies. We have to inquire with people who work in different companies, and only then we can ask such an amount as a response to this question. So here the amount that he has asked is a bit high because he has not done proper research. Amount that he asked for an amount is not wrong. Asking for an amount is not wrong, but the amount should be at a level which is common to the companies which offer such a job in that area. Okay, now let us look at the second response. The second candidate says that he is not interested in money and he has come to gain experience. It will help me when I attend other interviews. Give me any amount you like. These are all wrong kind of statements. The first one is a lie. I am not interested in money എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കല്ല് വെച്ച നുണയാണ്. We are not a monk. We are not a saint. We are not sannyasis. If we were, we will not be going for a job interview. So the first statement is a lie, that I am not interested in money is a lie. Nobody goes to get enjoyment just for enjoyment in the work. I have come to get experience. What will we do with experience if we are not interested in any growth in our career? So I have just come for experience. He is trying to impress the interview board. They have met many candidates and they are not going to be impressed by such statements. And the next statement is going to land us in trouble. It will help me when I attend other interviews. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത് ഇവിടുന്ന് കുറച്ച് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് കൊണ്ട് വേറെ നല്ല കമ്പനി നോക്കി പോകണം, അതിനു വേണ്ടി വന്നതാണ്. So the statements that we make should not create a negative impression about us. So this statement that I have come here to get experience to attend other interviews, that shows that we are not going to remain in the company for a long time. We are already giving a hint that we have no interest in continuing in this company. So we should not give such hints in the responses that we give. So this is a statement that will not only not impress the interviewer, but also will give negative impression about the candidate. And give me any amount you like is also not a response that the interview board is not going to buy. Will you be satisfied if they give you 1 rupee as salary? No, we will not be satisfied. So this is not at all a proper response. Now let us look at the candidate's response who says that salary is not my first priority. So she says that she focuses, look at the response, she focuses on career, improving the skills and knowledge, and also development of the company. So she focuses on both on her personal career as well as the company. Both have to be given importance. Only then there will be benefit for all. Why do we have employment? Employment is there so that we develop and also the organization should develop. The organization should also have development. Only then there is a give and take. The organization is giving us a salary. At the same time, we should also contribute something to the organization. So it is a win. It should be a win-win situation. That is, both should benefit. That is, the person who is working in the company should benefit. At the same time, the company who is giving us the job should also benefit from it. So, but she does not say that I will not be satisfied with any amount. Look at the kind way in which she responds. She says that the salary, CTC is nothing but salary. I am sure that CTC will be on par with what is prevailing in the industry. See, now you are locking the interviewer in a position where they cannot give you anything less, but you are not asking directly. So it is a very subtle way of asking. Subtle means indirect way of asking. So this subtle suggestion that they have to give, you have to give me something which is matching with what is there in the industry. Instead of asking it directly, she is putting it in a different way. That's why I said, what is not what you say, it is how we say it that matters. So I am sure that the salary will not be less than anything that is there in the industry. So that is what she says. I am sure that it will be matching with what the other players in the industry are giving. So this is why this is in the slides we discussed in this question. Why should we hire you? So This is a question which is affecting the company. That is why they are asking this question. So we talk about assets and liabilities, especially commerce. You talk about commerce. You have assets on one side and liabilities on the other side. They want to know whether we will become an asset for the company or whether we will become a liability for the company. Why do they take us? They want us to become the assets of the company so that the company will grow. So this is a question of a lot of concern for the company. That's why they are asking this question. So they are asking to find out whether you are a good candidate who will contribute something to the company. So which among these three responses are good? Three responses. Among these three responses, which is the best response? All right. It is the second response. Let us look at the other responses. Yes, yes. So let us why are these other responses? I am a fresher with a first class and I am ready to do anything you tell me. Here, the candidate is focusing on his inefficiency. The words indicate the inefficiency of the candidate. That you have to tell me and I will do. Which means if you don't tell me, I will not do anything. So whatever you tell me, I will do. It shows a kind of a servant attitude, servitude. That if you tell me, whatever you tell me, I will do. But will that person do? He will say all these things once he gets the job. He will say that this is not my job. And he is focusing on the fact that he is a fresher and he has got a first class. So the first class, distinction, etc. are all just things that you have in paper. When it actually comes to the workplace, it may not be, but may not be that the person with the first class or the distinction may not be the best workers always. Sometimes the people who have not got good marks, they may perform better in a job than somebody who has got a first class or a distinction. So this is not the way to respond to this question. And I liked the third response because this is what everybody thinks. All the candidates who go for the interview, not only for the interview, even in life itself, we think that we are the best. നമ്മളാണ് ബെസ്റ്റ് എന്നാണ് നമ്മുടെയൊക്കെ വിചാരം. So this is what everybody thinks, but we should not tell it in an interview. So we hope that we are the best. That's why we have gone there for the interview. നമ്മൾ മോശമാണെന്ന് നമ്മൾ ചിന്തിക്കുകയാണ്, നമ്മൾ ഒരിക്കലും ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിന് പോകില്ല. But this is not something that is directly said. We are not supposed to say such things in an interview. It shows a high ego that to think that we are the best, indicates that we are highly egotistic and we are actually commanding. He is ordering or commanding the interview board to take me. You should hire me എന്നാണ് അയാൾ പറയുന്നത്. I'm the best candidate. വന്നതിൽ വെച്ച് ഏറ്റവും നല്ല ആള് ഞാനാണ്. അത് ആരാണ് തീരുമാനിക്കേണ്ടത്? It's not the candidate who has to decide. It is the interview board who has to decide. But she is saying that you should take me because I am the best candidate who have among those who have here. Given upon the, we have a highly egotistic attitude, which will actually destroy the relationship in the company if we are taken. If such a person is taken into the company, she or he will have a lot of egotistic clashes with other people in the company. So the second response is a very balanced response. So when they ask any question, we should not say one word answers. It is always better to give three different reasons for anything. Just giving one reason is very less, very inadequate. Two responses are okay. Here he is giving two reasons, but always if you have a three-pronged approach to everything, it shows that you have a vision. That is why we should always give a three-pronged approach to any question that is asked to us. That shows that we have a well chalked out plan or something. So here the candidate gives two responses, two reasons, which is okay. One would be too less, two is okay, three is the best. More than three is too much. So we should limit to three different reasons. Whenever they ask us about any such questions which ask us to give reasons for something, we have to always try to stick to three different reasons. So here he that though he is a fresher, he says that he has good sound means strong technical knowledge and skills, and then he focuses on his hardworking nature and dedication to work, which will benefit both the growth of the company that I said before on the company. It is the growth of the personal career and growth of the company. So that is the second question. Now we come to the last question. Why do you want to work with us? That is the third question. Which is the best response? Okay, it is the first one. It is the first one. But let's look at the other responses. Sir, I want to work in a reputed company, get an experience certificate so that I can go abroad. So he has come here as a temporary stopping place. ഒരു സത്രം പോലെ നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയം ഒരു സത്രം പോലെ ആരെങ്കിലും യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ആർക്കും ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടില്ല. So he has just come here as a temporary stopping place so that he can get an experience. He has come here for an experience certificate. So if the management, the interview people are intelligent, they will tell him, "നിങ്ങൾ ഇപ്പൊ തന്നെ തന്നേക്കാൻ പോയിക്കോളാൻ പറയും." Experience certificate. So such a candidate is not required for any company. Only a person who is willing to contribute something to the company will be preferred by the interview board. So this is a very poor response to say that I have come here for getting some experience and now I want to get an experience certificate. That's why I have come here for interview. Then I can go abroad. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ വന്നിട്ടുള്ള അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്, ദുബായ് പോകാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. ഇവിടുന്ന് ഒരു കുറച്ച് നാൾ ജോലി ചെയ്ത് ഒരു എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് സർട്ടിഫിക്കറ്റ് കിട്ടിയാൽ ദുബായിൽ പോകാം. ഇറ്റ് മേ ബി ദ റീസൺ may be the actual reason, but we are actually insulting them also by saying such things in an interview. So that's why we should not say such things. We are offending others by making such statements that your company is not worthwhile, the only the company abroad, the only company, or the company in Dubai is the best one, yours is not good one. So that kind of statements actually is causing an insult to the members in the interview board. So that's why we should avoid such response. And this one is also indicating, as I said in one previous response, this company offers the highest salary. So the person, the candidate is attracted by the money, not by the anything else. So it shows that I'm a money-minded person. Therefore, this response is also not good. So here the focus again is, so all the responses that we give should focus on not only on ourselves but also on the company. We may tend to forget the company when we talk about ourselves, especially when they are asking only about ourselves. We may have the tendency to forget about our contribution to the company. So this kind of response is called a balanced response. The first candidate, she is not talking only about herself, she is also talking about the organization. So that kind of a balanced response is going to impress the interview board, and you are likely to be selected as a candidate. So that is it. These are the kind of questions that we can expect in an interview. And that brings us to the end of this section of interviews. We will take up a different topic in the next class. Any questions? Any doubts? Okay, so I think we will stop here. We will continue in the next class. So thank you everybody for joining. Have a nice afternoon. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.